So, we are picking up from our last session, which was live and in person. We had our lovely masked ball, and it started off really well. You mingled nicely around with other guests. You had a chat with a few different people, including Everson and Orion from a different campaign, which was absolutely great fun. You were ambushed through some kind of weird, illusory thing into a fight where you actually beat and definitely killed a few assassins. Which was weird because it was in front of everybody, but they were all like cheering at weird points because they were seeing something completely different going on. So you were on a big high and you were announced officially to the court along with your sponsors. However, due to some mounting interpersonal tension, things came to a head, where Eritrea and Leah pulled each other into a bit of a side alcove, and after a brief discussion, led to Leah consensually biting Eritrea. Unfortunately, this had a very weird reaction on Leah, where a weird, burning sensation filled them completely, corrupting all of the blood in their body, draining them of all usable blood and setting them into a vampiric frenzy. And unfortunately, other than Eritrea, who they now desperately wanted to get away from, in some kind of animalistic instinct, the second person was the Queen of Thorns. The Mother of Thorns, sorry, the Queen of the Court, and a very old, vulnerable woman. You leapt at her, but thanks to our lovely paladin, you were tackled. But the children, the Thorns, the children of the Queen, sentenced you to exile. Now, that was only, I believe, and I hope so, bear in mind what I've got planned, that is only Leah and... What's Ren's character name? Ren.
Ren.
Leah
What's
and
Ren's
Ren.
character name? Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ren's character name is Ryan. Yeah.
Having houses and humans. Leah and Ren were expelled, but Eritrea was kind of left in one corner and was quickly being looked after as a victim of this vampiric attack. That's kind of where we ended off the session. But we can now explain what was going on. You have all been separated. So, Leah, the last thing you saw as you were being dragged out of the ball was somebody leaning over Eritrea, Asbella, her sponsor, looking after her, and guards dragging Ren off in a completely different direction. So you are now alone. And Eritrea, the last thing you saw after being bitten and then kind of thrown back by a vampire was Asbella looking after you. And I'm going to say this was probably, unless they don't wanted to do anything immediately, that was probably going to be a few hours ago. Is everyone okay with that, or is anything specific at the end of this ball? Okay. So, firstly, Leah, you have been restrained. You're quite thankful that they don't seem to have iron shackles, as you don't know what iron does to a vampire skin. But thankfully, the old adage of the Fae not liking iron is true. So you have been restrained with some kind of strange, hemp rope, but you've tried to pull at it and you're very tightly held. And you are, in fact, dragged into a secluded arboreum, or little, indoor garden. You see it's called the Whispering Garden. You're placed on a chair in the centre of this garden, tied to it, and left. You're surrounded by all different kinds of dark, rainforesty plants. There's a distinct heavy, musty plant smell in the air. But you are going to be left there for 7 hours. The glass around you is all frosted, so you can't even see where you are in relation to anything else. But you think you can just about make through the doors that you came through some shifting shadows as if there are guards standing outside. But we're not going to be starting with you. we're going to be starting with Eritrea today. You have been not really against your will, but you're suddenly feeling a bit weakened and a bit shocked from what happened, and so Asbella has hurried you back to your quarters. Just out of interest, you would have been here for maybe a week and a half, and so you would have had some say in any decorations in your small quarters. There's going to be a large glass window overlooking some of the nice grounds, but how else do you think, what things do you think makes Eritrea think it's like home?
Lots of plants, like greenery.
Oh, a bunch,
Yeah,
yes.
Eritrea really loves like greenery and views. Because it's something like to daydream a lot. Obviously, they're quite creative, so she likes to be able to sit and look at something and get inspired. So I think her room would be very much kind of just like almost like full of nature and full of like things that would just kind of inspire you, like lots of like things that capture the light and if it was nighttime, probably like some really nice warm lighting and colors.
Okay, well, actually, you're in luck. Like, nature is the one thing this place has. And even as you walked in, there were already loads of plants quite nicely placed around. But you were able to ask for any kind of plant, basically, and it was brought to you in a nice pot. And it will be looked after by attendants. Although you also think in your mind that does mean that other people are coming into your room, even if it's just to look after the flowers. You're on the second or third floor of a really big spire in this castle, and so you get a nice view of the grounds where you can sit, a little balcony out there so you can sit and watch people as they wander around the grounds. And in the distance you can see the much taller and more daunting looking trees of the Feywild, the true wild Feywild. I talk about nighttime. They don't really have nighttime here because it's permanently day, but the large windows seem to have like blackout blinds that you can pull down, and you can simulate whatever time of day you want, basically. And there are little like lamps that you like, small balls on sticks that you can just tap, and they emit a nice warm light. That's one you might want to read to, for example. You were kind of hurried to a nice armchair in your room by Asbella a few hours ago, before she quickly hurried out, stating that she needed other things to do. You have been in some shock, but I would like, if you would like to, you describe your thoughts on what has happened. It's been a couple of hours, and for us, about a week, for you to get your head around the events. You making this declaration to Leah, allowing them to bite you, which I'm sure would have put your own heart in your mouth. Even though you trust them, it might have been scary. And then the chaos that ensued. I'm wondering what your thoughts are.
So I think if I go back to initially like when it happened, I think Eritrea didn't find it scary, more like exhilarating. It was exciting. But what happened afterwards, yeah, not so much. So, I mean, Eritrea right now is just in a state of shock and panic. She completely blames herself. She thinks that she was selfish, and what she did, has now caused two of the people she cares about the most to be suffering. And honestly, there's kind of no rest for Eritrea right now until, she's going to get a chance to try and redeem herself in some way or talk to someone.
Okay. Well, I would say about 2 or 3 hours later, when there is a soft knock on your door again, and the door gently opens, and it's Asbella who leans around the corner. Again, just remember she is an Eladin, so she's a very tall, like even taller than other elves. Long pointed ears, very long, flowing, curly black hair, brown, sorry, kind of chestnut brown. And she's always dressed in very nice, deep winter colours, as you now know. So she's wearing a kind of light material, but a deep navy blue outfit. That's not what she wore to the event she appears to have got changed. It's far more casual and light. she knocks around and just I can't remember what her voice was because I only did it once, but
It was very softly spoken.
Eritrea, may I
That was it.
may I come in?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, she closed it behind you, and you just hear a little click as you think that she's locked the door. But with the key that is in the lock, it's not like she was doing it surreptitiously. But she walks over. She's a little more unsure of herself, and yeah, if you would like to do an insight check, then you can to see how she's feeling. But she sits on the edge of your ginormous, like king-sized bed.
I'm actually going to use the ring to see how she's feeling.
Ooh, that means you get 3 emotions, or up to 3 emotions. But up to is very important because of me. You get you get a like flickering yellow, which you might imagine is nervousness. You get a shifting colour, which would indicate I can't think of colours, I don't know all of them. Extreme nerves. Like she's unsure of something. She is extremely on edge about something, and guilty. I don't know what the colour of guilt might be, but you get the colour that you know. Perhaps the ring came with a little booklet on what each colour meant in emotions, so you understand that it knows that it means a faint hint of guilt. She's sat on the edge of your bed, and she's just like, she has her hands in her lap, but they're just gently running over each other as well.
I imagine you have some questions.
Yes, your assumption is correct. Your whatever happened. Obviously, everyone saw when your friend, the vampire, went for the queen, but no one was particularly paying attention before then. I was wondering if you could give your understanding of what happened. In your own time, of course.
Well, can I do an insight check on whether or not I feel I can trust Arabella or Asbella?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so I got a 14.
Unfortunately, middling. So you get 2 things. You know that she is Fae, and despite everything, you still have the that niggling in the back of your head that Fae can be tricksters, spinner of words, and you've only known her for a couple of weeks. However, if you choose to believe what she's told you, and you have no reason to believe that she's able to lie, as everyone here seems to be telling the truth, she took a big risk in taking you as a sponsor. Or taking you as a sponsee, sorry. And she has appeared to be open, especially with her her place even in the court. She even apologized to you when she realized she might have misled you. And that apology seemed genuine. That's the things that go into your decision making, but with a 14, it's going to be up to you on whether you decide to trust that.
Okay. Well, look, I know that you took a risk sponsoring me, and you've treated me fairly so far. And so I would like to try to tell you what happened, and that this wasn't a malicious action. This was an accident, and honestly, it might be my fault. Not intentionally, but it's kind of a long story. Are you a fan of romance?
Uh, yes, me and my husband had 100 years of romance before we even got together. So we are somewhat versed in it, but it's different for creatures who live shorter lives. So if it's something you wish to discuss, if you believe it's pertinent to this situation, please continue.
This was just something that was supposed to be a good thing that went wrong, right? I uh, I don't even know how I feel. This is or I haven't said how I felt out loud, so this kind of feels weird. But basically, I think I kind of love Leah or the thought of them. I don't know what it is. Like I can't say for sure, but all I know is that we have something and it's been really unknown and it's been really confusing and we've been through a lot and a lot of things have happened, right? And I got in my head about it and I got annoyed and so I was treating them like crap and then I forced them because I was feeling insecure. I forced them to feed on me and they're basically not compatible with my blood and it put them into a frenzy and they lost control. After all of this time, they have never lost control. So I guess, you know, it's kind of my fault, you could say.
Did you have any inkling or indication that feeding on you in particular would be not good?
No, none. Like, none at all. I mean, obviously, it's not really something that many people experience. I certainly have never been bitten by a vampire before. Yeah, I mean, I was being needy. I was being needy, and yep, whoops. I don't know why or what that could have happened. Like, did I eat too much garlic or like did I have something in my system that was just like toxic to them?
I mean, it was a ball, you would have had some alcohol, I suggest, but I don't
I
know.
mean, I
The
don't really know
nature.
enough about vampires to know, but something put them into a frenzy.
The undead curse is an enigma to many. Um, there are even strains of it on different planes. We have one from on the Feywild. Um, the curse of porcelain, it is called here. It's given the pallor of skin.
I see.
We obviously knew that your friend was undead. That is one reason they were intriguing. We are in the place of most abundant life. So, the Walking Dead is a novelty.
I mean, you know that they would never intentionally want to harm anyone. That's just not who they are. I mean, this is like a. I mean, this hasn't happened before. This is like a one-off thing, and it was all because of like one thing that I did. So, I mean, what do I do? Like, what do I do?
Your friend is in trouble,
Where
as
are they? Do
is
you
your
know?
other friend is also in trouble. Um, you are not. Um, I was able to discuss with the Thorns and make a case on your behalf, as I, of course, knew you would not have anything to do with this. Um, so I would not say to them that it was your fault, or you will be expelled as well.
Okay.
That is most likely what is going to happen. While Lord Adariel made his grand proclamation of exile, it is not official right this second, but it is being discussed now.
You think there's something I can do for my friends, or they won't be harmed, right?
No, I don't think so. But they will, if it goes through, which it will do, they will be kicked out into the open Feywild. You'll be out. They will be out of this court, and the wild Feywild is dangerous. Courts exist for safety as well as community. Imagine standing under an umbrella during a rainstorm versus being up in the clouds by a thunderstorm. That's the kind of difference
Yes.
it would be.
Do you think there is a way I might be able to speak with one of them, Leah?
I'm not saying no, but I believe first you should do something quite dangerous, but necessary. Um, if you want, and it sounds like you're going to say yes, since you love this person, you will need to state your case to Lord Edario.
Hmm. As in, tell him what happened, or say that I want to talk.
As in, tell him what you think would be pertinent for him to know. You seem to know more than anybody else. And it's entirely possible his mind will be made up already, but it sounds like you would wish to take this chance nonetheless.
I mean, I was here for them in the first place, you know, like I wouldn't have had a reason to ever come here. Obviously, I have one now with you and the possibility of learning from you, and you know, I was excited for that, and I don't want to leave, but do I have a choice?
Oh, yes. You are not a prisoner here. Um, should you wish to leave, then you, of course, may do, under less of a dark cloud than your friends. I understand it would be difficult being in a place like this and feeling you are alone. Especially when you came here with friends, even if you were following them, rather than here for your own reason.
Thank you for your kindness
Of
and for
course.
helping me in this situation. It doesn't go unnoticed. I would hate to leave without being able to have helped you in return. But maybe it would be for the best that I talk, that I state my case. I believe it to be our only hope, really.
That would mean going to Lord Dariel right now. I will not be allowed in for this conversation. I've already made my case, given whatever knowledge I can. But their time is short if you wish to have an impact on this.
Do you have any advice for me with talking to him?
He is...
Is there some sort of rule or something where that would help me?
If you go in there and try and play the game, you will most likely lose, not as an insult on your personage or your personality. Even though Lord Dariel is the youngest of his Thorn children, the most recent adoptee, he is skilled in it, as he has risen to lead the Thorns and be the personal favourite of the Queen. I fear that honesty will be your best bet. Being straightforward. It's difficult to out-trick someone who is perfectly honest without ulterior motives, who is trying to outmaneuver yourself.
I guess I'll have to tell it well.
Yes.
Would you please take me to see him?
Yes, of course. She stands and... Never mind. We should let us go.
Are you sure?
Yeah. It is frustrating. The entire court is weird, and more so than usual. And this is another upset. But do not feel guilty yourself. You clearly did not know what was going to happen. You've made a heartfelt gesture, and you, as my husband would love to say, that you threw the dice. You made the gamble on, well, it appears to be, just on making that confession to them. You did not know the hidden stakes behind. Although perhaps I shouldn't mention stakes when talking about the vampire.
Yeah. You might be right there.
Well, come on. I know where he is right now.
Thank you.
She unlocks the door and gestures for you to leave, and then she leads you through the corridors. But we'll be jumping over to our other attendee today, Leah.
Oh, I hope I've made the right choice.
You have, as I said, you have been left alone for a few hours, tied to the chair, very strong bindings. If you've tried to pull at them, then there's no movement. It's like you are tied to an immovable rod, it feels like. We've had Eritrea's thoughts on this, but what thoughts and feelings are going through your mind at the moment? You're not hungry, as you regained 5 hunger points from biting Ren. And the intense, predatory panic and hunger that overtook you has receded a few hours ago. So you are now a little more clear of mind. Like you are being... It's like waking up from being drunk.
They look defeated. They haven't tried at all to escape, to cut the rope. They put them in a position and they haven't moved since. To the point probably that the guards are wondering if they're still alive because we cannot see their face at the moment. They're looking down, so their messy hair are falling on their eyes. They are bloody, blood on their face, on their neck, on their shirt. The shirt is like torn, like they are a mess. But in their head, I wouldn't say it's that clear. Yes, they're not in a frenzy anymore, but they are spiraling on guilt. Just repeating the same thing in their head, be like, it's my fault, I've ruined everything. Thinking a lot about Ren and Eritrea. But really not moving at all. Yeah, they feel quite bad right now.
Highly understandably, I feel. Again, it's a few hours, but you don't get a nice soft knock on the door, but the doors are flung open from the outside.
They're not
And
going to look, they're still looking down. And I didn't say, but their wings were like through on the floor next to them.
oh yeah, they were broken during the strike, and the fight. Sorry, and yeah, so the remnants of them that were removed so you'd be sat on the chair are just on the floor.
Their broken wings. So sad.
You hear the characteristic tapping of high heels, and then a quick snap of the fingers, and you hear the two guards exiting, and the doors closing behind them.
The point of view of Leah is probably just seeing the shoes, being curious, but they don't have the energy to look up.
You see a pair of I think they're called platforms, high heels, where like they're high heels but have got quite a chunky floor on them, so they're raised, and they're a deep peach colour. No, that's not right. That's somebody else. Oh, they are a kind of a purple mixed with red. With probably a bit more red, but with that kind of hint of purple in them. And you hear, do look up at your betters, dear.
Yeah, I don't think they are. They're still looking down, almost like hearing the voice, like if you was in an aquarium.
Well, a dog does need a stick, I suppose. And you see the heels walk off to one side, and you hear a bit of rustling, and then walk back in front of you. And this person has taken a reasonably sized, sturdy stick from the garden and puts it under your chin and starts forcing your head up.
Yeah, they're going to see like someone that is just adjusting, almost like everything was blurry until this moment. But I don't look angry. I look mainly tired and confused.
As your head is raised, you have to go really quite high up because not only are they a tall Eladrin, they're also in platform heels. You see a female Eladrin who you recognise as the same Eladrin who came in from the hunt with Cesaro, who briefly spoke to Apsirian. She's a very tall, as I said, I think it's a midnight rose. No, not midnight rose. Violet rose. Thank you, Ryan. And they're in this kind of strong pantsuit, but with their long flowing cape of roses, as all the others do. She has a very long, haughty face, and
Yeah, she
eyes.
was a bit creepy, right?
Yes, she was. And there is the grin that bullies have when they've won. When they see the person they bullied getting told off by the teacher. That self-satisfied, self-righteous half grin lighting at one side of her face. Dear, dear, dear. What a sorry sight you really are.
Sorry, guy, to make it difficult, but they're still not speaking.
Probably for the best if you keep that mouth shut. After all, we've seen what happens when you try to open it. Little corpse, little corpse. Your kind being here was only ever going to cause upset. However, you also seem to have taken down one of your friends with you. Almost two of them. I bet that makes you feel good and warm inside.
I just say that not too aggressively, but they move their head from the stick and try to break the eye contact.
You get a smack across the face with the stick.
And more blood fall on the floor. This time they're going to look up angry, like finally woken up from their dream.
Oh, there's the beast. It's deep there inside, just under the surface. She laughs.
Who are you again?
Insolence, but not understanding. You've had an eventful. I am Inari, born. First daughter of the mother. We met briefly after I was discussing with the good Lord Obsidian.
I guess you just don't have a memorable face.
So wounded I am, truly. Now, I wonder what would happen if I... And she has very, very long nails. And just with a very quick, like, blurringly quick flick of her wrist, the stick is now pointed very sharply at one end. And she just places that point directly on your forehead.
Don't break eye contact. Like if I was challenging her. I have nothing to lose. I'm mad.
Is that what you say?
No. It's all in behavior.
Yes. You are in so much trouble, you're not even really sure. Can you even remember what happened? Can you even understand words?
They're going to roll their eyes. What do you want? Why am I not out of the Feywild yet?
Your punishment is being discussed and voted upon. I, of course, already put my vote in, and I'm sure you don't know what that is going to be.
Obviously. They're quite predictable.
Well, good to know you have some forethought, although not enough to attack the Queen of the Court you are so graciously in the care of.
There was an accident.
Oh, sure. You just happened to run across and try and kill the mother. A poor assassination attempt.
It was out of my control. I wasn't myself.
And do you think that's any defense, truly? And do you think if it were, that anybody would care?
Probably not.
That's the better look in your eye. The look of defeat is delicious, it knows, like you.
Where's Ren?
I'm sorry, do you think you're asking any questions? What do you think I would bother to answer?
Is he okay?
Why would I bother to answer? You really should be worrying more about yourself.
Why? Is Eritrea okay? Can you at least tell me that?
Which one was Eritrea? Oh, the one who was introduced with you.
Yeah.
She was not nearby. Why do you think she would not be okay?
We arrived together. They could have blamed her too, even though she did nothing wrong.
What did she do? And what did you do? I want to hear you say it, just so you properly process your situation. Again, she's kind of like drawing down your face with the point of the stick. And for a second it like rests on your jugular and she presses quite hard before going back up.
Would you mind having this conversation without a weapon on my face?
Yes, I would. You're, of course, a dangerous criminal. Can't have you getting any ideas.
Okay. I have nothing to say except that she's not part of this story.
Hmm. I mean, with no other information to go off, it would seem like perhaps she should be joined in the punishment with you then. If you're not willing to give me any information, of course.
What information do you want?
Tell me what you did. Enjoy my own little game. Tell me what you did in detail. And look at me while you're doing it.
Sorry, as a player, throughout all those weeks, did we understood that they have a way to tell if we are lying, or I'm just taking the risk to be excluded?
You
if I
know
lie?
that if your lies are found out, well, you know that it's very difficult for people to lie. Maybe not impossible, but extremely difficult. To the point that the vast majority of people just don't. Perhaps thinking back, you doing your dance with Orion, he was even quite forthcoming with information that one might hold privately about his courtship with Emerson. So you can imagine that people do tell the truth. You don't know how or why. It's just been described to you as it's part of the game. But also in the back of your head, you remember. I know you never got the feeling, but you saw Ren and Eritrea willingly hand over a couple of their treasured items on your first day here because of the game. So you can imagine there is some force involved.
Like a weird zone of truth. Okay. I'll stick with the facts. You probably have noticed I'm a vampire. I drank her blood, and I had a bad reaction. She's the victim in the story.
Ah, you're allergic to your little lover?
Somehow drained me from blood and energy, and it felt like I had to feed on the nearest person.
Which just happened
It was
to
the
be the
queen.
queen. So you could in fact be the instrument of assassination, and this Eritrea of yours could be the mastermind behind it. You know, turn a vampire into a frenzy, get them near the queen, and then let you loose.
I
Perhaps
don't want to
she
play
does
this
need a
game.
conversation. You don't have a choice. She
I,
flicks
kn- I know what you're doing right now. You just want her to suffer next to me for me to suffer more. I get it. I'm not going to play the game and fall into the trap. I know that if you want to do it, you will do it. But you don't have any proofs then.
Who needs it? We are the ones who run the court. The vote on your future, your short future, is being held purely among us thorns. So, really, if you wish for me to change my recommendation for them to go and seek out Eritrea, it really should be nicer.
I have nothing nice to say, so I'm going to stay silent.
Perhaps that is for the best. She just waves the stick around before hovering it like a millimetre away from your eye. I wonder if I could convince them to give your body to me. A vampire could be interesting to dissect.
Are you a scientist now?
I've worked and studied many things. The bodybuilders, I'm sure, could learn much from my findings from you. And it's also interesting to do an autopsy on somebody who can give you feedback on how it feels while it's going on.
Amusing.
And what about your blue-haired friend, Ren?
What about him?
She just picks under her fingernails with the stick. What is his role in all this? What do you know about him?
He tried to protect the queen by tackling me on the floor, and I attacked him and fed on him. And he got arrested for no good reason.
You don't know why he was arrested. So you don't know if there's a good reason or not. And what do you know about him?
I know that he's a good and kind person, doesn't deserve this.
Saccharine and cliche.
What else do you want me to say?
The longer you talk, the better it is for you.
Are you sure? No, really, I only have good things to say about this man. He has been only patience and kindness since I met him.
When did you meet him?
It's a big blur. A few months ago. Feels like years though.
Feels like 18 months, I bet. And what did he tell you about... Well, perhaps we should actually start more with you. Why are you in the Feywild?
Big question. I'm following my friends, but I also wanted to learn more about the Fays.
The Fey in general.
Intriguing people.
You've not got enough books on your own plane.
Not really satisfying. They're lacking information. I thought I will go to the source.
And your friend Eritrea? Why is she in the Feywild?
Because she cares about her best friend, Ren. And she's curious.
So why is Ren in the Feywild?
In the hope to learn more about himself.
In what way?
I'm not even sure, you know.
Sure enough to follow him, yeah?
Yeah, I trust him with my life.
You don't have a life.
That's true. Touché.
No. I feel like there's going to be more to this. You're being particularly reluctant.
I'm not lying.
No, but I feel like there might be more. She just stares at you for a second, grinning.
I think they're going to start laughing nervously. Like a crazy laugh.
That is a pleasurable sound. Let's see if we can make this a bit louder. I'm very good at getting people to talk. When motivation is needed. And when I have the motivation to do so. Now, where should we be? She's cut off halfway through as you hear a commotion outside. There are loud shouting voices, and you hear the guards trying to stop someone to come in before the
Is that
doors
nothing?
are thrown open again. And in walks Apsyrian. The two guards are slumped against the walls just outside, and they're groaning a little, but he is strides in.
I make myself more presentable somehow.
He doesn't look at you. He looks directly at Inari. You have seen him jovial, you've seen him playing pranks and laughing and telling stories. You have not seen fury across his features. The air almost buzzes as he stalks closer. He is still in his long purple robe, which he was wearing, and you see underneath he's actually wearing a bright yellow suit, which clearly you kept on going on about you wearing yellow. Perhaps he wanted you to match. But he has stared closely. He doesn't say anything, but you can see in his eyes there is pure thunder. As he walks straight up to Inari, staring her down, as she stares back. They're about the same height at this time. In fact, you're just like, I don't remember Absirian being quite that tall. But right now he is, and even with his horns going up slightly higher, he's winning the height game. He leans to one side slightly and looks at you. You appear to be a little bit worse for wear. He brushes past her and just kneels down next to you, just looking you over, and you see there is fury, but there is also compassion in his eyes. What have you been up to? What have you done?
So sorry.
The arrest was quite traumatic to watch. We had quite the high of you winning some kind of illusory fight, and then seeing you get taken down like that was difficult.
I'm sorry.
And yet, during your arrest, you were bound and harmed, but I am seeing, and his voice gets much harder, I am seeing a number of new injuries on you, on your face, than you had when you left the hall. Would you care to explain what has happened? He's looking at you.
I think someone else in this room could actually explain what happened. And I look at Inari.
He actually growls slightly. I didn't even know I could make that noise. That was fun. He stands up and looks directly at her. Let's see. You have been harming my sponsoree. I may not be part of this court, but until judgment has been officially passed, they are under my protection. She looks back at him, equally angry in the eyes. It's just like, but I had so many more questions for them. She looks down at the stick in her hand, which has got a little bit of congealed blood on the end of it. You don't bleed properly, but there is some residue on it. She looks down at the cuts on your face, the red, like the mark on your jugular. My dear Inari Thorpe, what good are questions if you don't have a mouth to speak them with? And the air crackles again, and she goes to retort, but you see actually the skin has grown over her mouth, and her eyes widen as she tries to talk. You see her cheeks bulging, but she's unable to make any noise, and she's breathing something very hard through her nose, and her eyes are panicked more than the fury that had been there half a second earlier. And she kind of stumbles backward for a second, and Absirian walks after her as she continues to stumble back towards the doors, and he is just silently staring at her as he chases her out of this room. He slams the door shut with a gesture of his hands. And you see, as he does so, the glass itself, it's no longer a door. The connection that makes it a door kind of melds together, so it is just... Sorry, I nearly knocked over my fan. So it is just plate glass. The door itself has actually disappeared.
If it turns back to me, I think I'm going to move away, still tied up to my chair, because I'm actually scared of him right now. That was a horrifying
He
image.
doesn't actually turn around for a second. He just places his hand on the window.
Okay.
You see his shoulders rise and fall for a second as he gathers his composure. And when he turns to you, you see that the anger in his eyes has dissipated. And there is now just sadness. Pure sadness in his eyes. He raises his hands in the kind of I surrender gesture to you and just be, I do understand, but you do not need to be worried right now. Well, not about me. About everything else, but right now, you are safe-ish.
That was impressive.
It's been a long time since I actually lost my temper like that. Well,
I'm glad it wasn't against me.
no, I don't think you could anger me in that way. Some people rule and take rule to mean they can do whatever they want.
I got hurt.
He walks over to you and just kind of sits, and a strange like chair just manifests beneath him as he sits down opposite you. He doesn't actually look at you for a second. He kind of looks down slightly. And he's just breathing, still trying to just try to get hold of himself. Just for a few seconds.
I think I will interrupt him.
Please do.
My lord, would you mind untying me? Sorry.
If I do, I'm just going to have to put them back on again when I leave. You understand? You are not
Yes.
free to go, as the saying goes. So,
Why
up to
don't-
you. Do you want momentary freedom? Or would that hurt all the more when they go back on?
It's fine. Leave me like that. But why don't they throw me away? Why do I have to stay?
You are being held at, nominally, or in words only, the mother's pleasure. You are.
Huh?
You are a enforced guest currently. Long story short, you're a prisoner. They put it in fancy words, but you are. Your actions have been taken note and are the hushed talk in court, and will be for quite some time. They are saying that you are an assassin.
Why is everyone saying this word? I'm nothing but that to her.
You've seen the Queen.
Yeah.
She is, while extremely powerful, she is currently weak and elsewhere. She's not herself.
Yeah, have you wondered why it's not me, the assassin? It's those vultures around her.
To find out why is precisely why I'm here. You do not find me on a random jaunt for fun. I came here with a self-imposed job. The one between me and my peers, at least. Which I'm trying very hard not to come to an unfortunate end. As
What do you mean?
you are my sponsee. The responsibility falls on your head for your actions and on mine.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry for your reputation.
My reputation does not matter, but I was here on a matter of some importance. I almost assumed that you were as well, actually. You, turning up.
Why?
You turning up out the blue at the place I was to meet me twice in one short lifetime. You are. I don't believe in coincidence.
Oh, I do. I don't really believe in destiny. So what do you think happened?
I don't know. I'm not saying everything has a purpose, but fate is not necessarily where we are meant to be, but almost like a written record of where we will be.
Mm. But don't take this the wrong way, but I don't see what is linking us at all. I mean, now I created a problem that links us, but before that, nothing.
My first impression of you and your friends was at a ball, much like this, not like one we just had, with another attempted assassination on a high lady. History repeats itself, usually after a few millennia, rather than within a couple of months. And when you turned up while I was investigating, I don't believe, as I said, I don't believe in coincidence. I'm not saying destiny brought you there, but the Raven Queen plinks her strings of fate. I don't say you're literally under the control of the Raven Queen. I'm saying that fate is
Just one
powerful.
second. Okay, I may have to start believing in that.
But that is not your worry for today. Your worry is living to see tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, sorry to interrupt your train of thought, but could you please tell me what happened to Ryan in Eritrea?
Ren is stuffed in a much less pleasant place than this. An actual jail cell. Eritrea is under the care of her sponsor, as she would be, Asbella, and is not currently of interest, more than an acquaintance of yours.
Inari is going to try to blame her. She's going to try to put her in that. If you can do anything to protect her.
Is she wrong to suspect Eritrea? I know it's a
She
harmful
didn't.
question, but this is the time for them.
Yes, she was in the story, but she did nothing wrong. I drank her blood and he burned me and drive me crazy. That's not her fault. Entirely my choice. She's it. He's not a Machiavellic plan of her to attempt to assassinate the queen. I don't think she cares that much about the queen. With all respect, she was just at some place at the wrong time with the wrong person.
You say that, and you say you don't believe in fate? Wrong place and wrong time is exactly that, isn't it?
Well, if I start believing in that, it just means that I bring chaos and trouble to people, so I would prefer not to think it will happen again.
I've been bringing chaos to people for 10,000 years. It
Your
happened.
chaos is fun. Mine almost killed people.
Well, in response to your "can I do anything?" the answer is no. As I told you when you came here, I am not part of this court. I'm a guest. I am from outside and therefore do not get the ear of the thorns without making a splash of it. I guess the more truthful answer is yes, I could snap my fingers and finish every single problem and solve all of them. But that is not a path which leads to good things, no matter how much sometimes I wish to do it. I am not responsibilityless. I do not answer to anybody, but that in itself is a curse.
that plan to escape? Do you think I have a chance to make Ren escape?
Escape? No.
I'm quite stealthy.
The second you are not found, I suspect the first thing they would do is send a courier to your room, grab some of your items, and scry your exact position. They're very, very good scryers. You will not be able to hide anywhere in the universe. And being out of the universe is unpleasant.
What if I turn myself into an area or something?
What?
If I change my appearance?
You are still you.
I'm hopeless right now. I don't know what to do.
You cannot do anything. Although you
And
wish
what?
to. And
I
I
just
can do
wait
things,
here
and
until.
I can't. Yes. Your fate is out of your hands.
Nope, I don't accept that. No way. I will have free will until the end. No way I'm just staying here whilst my friend is getting tortured and the other is being blamed for assassination. No.
They're not laying a finger on Graham. They're not even bothering to question him.
Why?
I'm not certain. I mean, from what I saw, the only thing he did was tackle you. But he's being dragged down with you anyway.
Yeah, I think those people around the Queen don't really like him and what he represents.
What do you think he represents?
New beginning. Sorry to be that dramatic, but it feels like he's bringing something to the Queen that she hasn't felt in a long time, like hope and youth and truth instead of evil plan against her. I don't know, maybe I'm being paranoid, but I don't really like those people. And I really like Ren.
He doesn't directly respond to you for a second, but the Queen has not been herself for 6, 7 years, going by your time stream. She increasingly reclusive, and now Adara and the Thorns are her mouthpiece. Technically, it is the Queen who passes judgment on you. But since that responsibility is delegated to Adariel now, he seems somewhat desperate to keep it. But not in the way that to vie for power. That's what I find strange. Yeah. Nothing here makes sense, even in the Fey way.
That's true. That's true. I mean, she's kind of under their power, so I'm guessing they are still taking decision and pretending that she does, like you just said. That's still desire of power, but it's not the usual fake chaos.
It is not. Fey chaos is predictable in its unpredictability.
That's true.
It will always be random. But the Queen should have changed courts by now. The time of the changing from the summer to the winter court has come and gone. All other courts
Oh.
have already happened, but she is hanging on. It's entirely up to her as well. Perhaps she's just merely too weak at the moment to go through it, without the wherewithal to know it needs to be done.
What would they lose if she changes the season?
I don't know. I haven't been around in this court for the changing before, so who knows? this thing was almost... This court was founded in strife. And courts do not go on forever. They do come to an end eventually, and they would have to end in strife as well.
What do you mean?
It was, this one was founded at the end of a war. Attrition from two opponents led to the Queen and her sister taking their thrones across the entire court. But the point of the Feywild is the circle of life, the cycle. Winter follows summer, inevitably. But that has stopped currently.
But do we need a war for this to happen?
I don't know. I don't want a war. The last one, well, the one that founded this, was powerful. I remember
Are
it.
you
It was,
alive?
that is a difficult question for not your current concern. I fear I should take my leave.
Wait, you're leaving?
Anari will have gone back to the Thorns by now. It was an amusing mouth covering, but that will wear off very quickly, and she will be gabbing on to all of them about what's happened. And if I'm still here, they will take their displeasure out on you even further. And I would not do that to you.
Are they going to arrest you?
They can't.
Okay.
But that means they will do worse to you in my stead.
Can you... It's not my intention to give you any order, but do you think you could investigate on what's happening to the Queen and do your best to protect Eritrea? I'm so sorry to ask you things.
Not in the short run. My position here, like they have every right. They can't arrest me, but they can demand that I leave. And if I do
Oh.
that, then I can't investigate what's going on with the Queen. And if I investigate with the Queen at this point, then it gets worse. And they ask me to leave at that point. I mean, any action currently leads to uncertainty.
Lord Aspirin, you should leave now. Once you still can.
He stands and the chair itself wisps away and he just moves his hand slightly and like a large buttercup just grows in his hand and he just leans down quite carefully and tucks it behind your ear and just be the smallest drop can create tidal waves in a river. You know, perhaps if you had just worn yellow. Oh, may this little yellow drop protect you. Whatever may come.
And I'm sure I'll see you again somehow. Hopefully in better circumstances.
His hand, after tucking the yellow hair into your ear, just reaches over and you feel a faint pulling sensation as he removes the lock of hair he had tied to yours.
I understand. I'm not supposed to say it, but thank you for everything.
He just rests his hand on your shoulder and it's just... No damage is irreparable. Even the dead can heal. And his thumb just gently grazes your cheek and the small wounds that were opened on you just close up.
You do this? Why are you the only one who can do that?
again. The answers are too big for the question right now. Just remember, over time and with power, things can be fixed. And since I hope you live a very long life, you'll learn that yourself.
Please, I don't mind the spoiler. Tell me.
Spoilers. I really have learned to hate that word. He pats you on the shoulder, P. Should you fix this, come by and I will tell you much, much more, perhaps, and answer your questions. As if you needed more motivation.
How can I find you again? Voluntary.
If I'm here, in my villa still. If I'm gone... He doesn't finish that sentence and just turns, leaves. The doors reform and open. He steps out. Eritrea! Sorry.
Oh,
Your cutscene has ended and you are the player again. Is that okay, by the way? I know we're doing a lot of talking with both of you, but...
Yeah.
Eritrea, as you were being led to Adari.
Okay.
And... Sorry, I'm quite touched by that scene. I need a second.
he was extremely touching. Like, I love this kind of weird, creepy, funny character that actually will break your heart when they leave. Well done.
I will say, like, I'm not meant to have favourites, but Absoon, I think it has to be my favourite character so far. Of the ones I've
Wow.
created.
I like him a lot too.
That's nice.
Sorry, Eritrea.
It's okay.
You are being led quite quickly by Asbella. She's talking quite quietly to you as you walk through the crowd, and people are moving out the way. And she's just muttering to you that just be polite, be yourself, and be honest. But possibly not too honest, bearing in mind some of the things that you told me, but you can't hide too much either.
Wait, now that's not helpful. How honest?
I do not know.
Is that something you think I shouldn't say?
The thing about it being your fault. She kind of mouths that last word without saying. Will not bring pleasant outcomes. At the moment, you are not of suspect, as far as I know, and I doubt that's changed. And in fact, you survived an attack, as far as the court understands, but nearly one went for the queen. So you could turn this in your favor for the overall court. What?
I think I know what I'm gonna say and how I'm gonna say it. Thank you.
That makes one of us. She reaches a pair of double doors, and just as she is about to knock, furious, angry tapping of high heels comes from behind you, as I think you might have met Anari, but she sweeps straight past Asbella, the doors flying open to reveal a huge stone. You can imagine it's a council room. It's beautiful, like white marbles and glass, but in the center is a huge circular white table with seats around it, 12 of them, and in each of them, bar one, is one of the Thorn children. It's kind of, although it's a circle, you can tell that by everyone's looking. At one end is Adariel, his long, kind of midnight blue-black clothes standing out, his hair done up incredibly in like a top knot that flows down behind him. But Anari has stormed in, and she immediately launched into a tirade about the dog corpse in the garden, and that infernal satyr lord. She goes on for quite a while, and no one else interrupts her. And she takes her seat. But Asbella just coughs quietly and said, my lords and ladies of the Thorn Table, this is Eritrea, my sponsoree, and she wishes to give her insight and account of the events of the ball. I thought it would be of note to all of you. You can tell she's nervous, and all eyes now turn towards her and you, you are the centre of attention. But she kind of pats you on the back, kind of pushing you forward slightly before bowing and backing out with the doors closing behind her. And you are left alone in this room. And the others are all just staring at you, apart from Anari, who is still furiously muttering to herself.
Okay.
Other than that, there is silence.
Eritrea walks forward and just says, my good lord, thank you for allowing me to speak with you. And Eritrea will bow her head slightly, and when she raises her head, you can see that the expression on her face is completely changed. Eritrea is in game mode.
Okay. Adariel leans forward, steepling his fingers, and his black, piercing eyes, you feel like they're staring into you, trying to read your mind. Perhaps he can, you don't know. There is a slight growling from his right-hand side as the blood-red Cesaro with his kind of spiky teeth, permanently bared, has grates them slightly. But there's a number of... You saw the thorns in the ball, but now you get a good look at them as they're all looking at you. While a lot of them have... They all have different coloured cloaks, as you know. There's the deep blues and reds and purples, greens, kind of like ceruleans, yellows, whites. And while they are mostly coordinated, many of them wear things like deep red cravats, or even a jaunty little hat every now and then. Some armbands going up their arms. Style is subjective, Das. Of deep reds and oranges, indicating, as you now know, they are of the Seelie, the Summer Court. That is true for all but one of them. A quieter, more subdued Eldarin of a deep peach, like a kind of champagne-y colour, who is sitting, looking quite alone in this, although part of the circle. But you see that he is wearing a series of dark blue, like the similar purple to what Asbella wears, armbands on both his arms, going up both of his otherwise bare arms. They're quite striking against his quite simple shirt and waistcoat look he's got. Adariel again just goes, so you are the one who survived the attack first, as has been described to me by your good sponsee Asbella.
So, I do believe it is a time where I must humble myself in front of you all to explain what happened, I suppose. Don't get me wrong, usually this is not the sort of thing I would share in front of a room full of people, but I guess the circumstances call for it.
He leans back, and he seems to be taking your deference and You are well versed in the court, on your own court, and you think that most of those probably apply. And you seem to have relaxed him slightly from your good response.
I feel free not to answer, but are you per se a fan of romance or lovers, perhaps?
You are correct, I do not have to answer. This will be a one-sided interrogation.
Respect that, of course.
Give your account.
Of course.
This council is short-lived.
So, what do you know about vampires?
As I mentioned, his voice getting quite hard, this is a one-sided interrogation.
Okay, well then let me tell you what I know. Obviously, there are many different types of vampires, and each vampire has different quirks, different things that set them apart, right? There is something that we recently discovered about Leah. And that is that when they drink blood, they sometimes feel the emotions of the person they're drinking from.
Is that true?
Yes?
DM, sorry. Was that true? Oh, you're going to have to roll a performance check then. Or persuasion, sorry. Which, by the way, this is going to be insanely high. But still doable.
That's a 20.
Okay, I'm going to have to ask you to roll again, because I also rolled a nat 20 on my
But
insight.
but my performance is a 10 plus 10.
Yeah,
No, what was it? You said persuasion.
persuasion, yes.
My persuasion is also plus 10.
Usually, this would be fine, but I literally rolled for them and they also got a nat 20. So,
Okay. Roll again.
yes.
15.
Okay, yeah,
plus
much
10.
better.
25.
There is a second as you almost feel a pressure in the air as they are taking you on, trying to get the measure of you. And it's a heavy pressure. But he nods. Doesn't say anything else.
So, to put this bluntly, and I'm not going to beat around the bush and elongate the story any more than it needs to be, but Leah and I have had romantic type relationship for a while, but it's one of those ones where nothing has happened, and I know on my part I definitely wanted something to happen a lot. It's been a long time coming, you know, and I might have got a bit carried away and a little bit lustful, and I didn't force, but I may have instigated them to drink from me because I thought I would enjoy it. But instead, all they tasted was the heat in my blood. And
You haven't actually, I will point out, you haven't spoken to Leah since they bit you. And nothing happened. Like, no communications happened, so you wouldn't know about the weird smokiness. Or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Just so like I'm sorry, like usually I would say that you know that as a player, your character doesn't know that, sorry. But Cesaro like half gets up, slamming his hand on the table, and he goes, "If vampires feel the emotions of those they eat, so it was you who wished to assassinate the mother then?
No, not at all.
Then explain further."
I guess a lot of emotion, a lot of want and need over a long time boiled up and put them into a frenzy. It's what happens. You know, I would be ashamed, but I feel I don't have room to do that, and so I'll be honest with you and tell you up front. And during that time, like in between conversation, Eritrea was holding her breath so that her face would go really red, so it looked like she was embarrassed.
Okay. Touching words. Straight out of what are those? Fantasy romance novels. Romantasy, I believe it's called.
Well, that's what I hoped it would be.
But
It didn't go that way.
your words do not give excuse.
No.
They barely rise to the level of defense for that thing's actions. You
It was a misunderstanding.
A misunderstanding that nearly led to the death of our dear Frail. And he said Freya. Dear Frail.
Which
mother.
our other friend put a stop to. They were with us. They made sure that it didn't happen, put their life on the line so that it didn't happen. This was a mistake. Do you really think that he would have done that if it wasn't because... Why would we do that? It makes no sense. It doesn't line up. Why would Ren put everything on the line that he has here at court if we'd have planned it from the start?
Anari just scoffs out. The actions of that one will never make any sense. Dariel just goes, by coming here and giving your testimony, you have almost indicated that it is your fault.
I believe it's nobody's fault. And I am willing, and I'm sure my friends are willing, to do whatever it takes to prove to you that we are not a threat. Even if that means us being away somewhere until this is all over and you... whatever, just... we will prove what we have to prove. We mean you no harm.
You would offer yourself as in our service to prove this.
What does that mean? In service?
Whatever happened to doing whatever it is to prove, and yet now you're asking what he would have to do.
I haven't said no, I just asked what it means. What does in service mean to you?
Take a guess. A servant. A runner. Someone who do whatever we say. Is that what you are
would be
offering?
willing. I would be willing if that's what it takes.
It would prove it would go away to prove that you were not involved. So it's great sacrifice. It would be binding until you, as you said, have proven to us that you were not involved.
Then allow me to make that sacrifice.
Very well.
But
But who
I
should
would
we
have
do
one
it to?
condition.
You have a condition on servitude.
Yes. And that is that you would never make me harm my friends.
A somewhat amusing thought, but no, we would not make you do that. Very well. Let's see. Cesaro. I think you've just got a new, whatever you wish to call them, serf. Go on then. Do the deal. And Cesaro stands up, walks over to your side of the table. Just out of his hands, he pulls a paper scroll out of nowhere. He sets it on the table, and a quill appears next to it. Your servitude until I am satisfied you did not get involved.
I think Eritrea will glance over at Asbella.
She's not there, she's left.
Oh, she's gone?
Yeah.
Can I roll an insight check on this contract or whatever?
You can read. I'm going to say this is either insight or investigation, because, yeah, you are given time to read this contract.
I kind of want to see his intentions. Like, are they good or bad? Like, is this a trick or is it?
Like, that's going to be. That's going to be way harder. So you can do one of two things, or even both of them, honestly. You can try and read into Adariel. That will be a insight check. Or you can do an insight or investigation into the contract to see what is written there.
Can I do both?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, so let's start with him.
Yes.
So an insight check, yeah?
Yeah. That's not a good... Oh, shit!
No, it's a good. That's a 19 plus 3.
22. That's pretty good. You've known many people like him. In that he acts, despite his grandeur, like one of the many powerful lords you knew in your old castle. He reminds you of your father, of your adoptive father. He's cold, you can tell he is calculating, and you get the impression that there is something else not being told. You have no idea what that could be.
Okay. I guess and then look at the contract.
Yep. Insight investigation or whatever one you think is best for this.
So either way, it's a plus 3 for me, so that's only a 13.
It's written in actually quite plain text. Cesaro is not a man of words. And you can tell, yes, you will enter into his servitude to follow his orders, with the exception of bringing harm to Leah and Renzel.
I think the only thing that is worrying Eritrea is the terms of the agreement could mean that he could never be done with me. In what way do I get out? I think Eritrea will say, before I sign, there is one thing I would like to know. And that is, what are the terms of you being done with my service?
Ah! Cesaro growls and he shakes his head. He's not used to thinking hard. But Adariel, a fair point. when this council votes that you have decided, you have made it clear that you were not
Involved?
Involved, yes.
Okay.
The threshold will be merely one person voting that you have met their criteria. So only one of us 12.
Okay.
The words appear on the contract.
That was what I was going to ask. Eritrea Science.
For the second time, away from your friends, you have made some kind of deal. The quill pops out of existence as well. That certainly ends your rendition.
Rendition.
Rendition. Well, it was good that you arrived when you did, as this council's about to break up, since we have already held our votes on the fates of your two friends. They are both being exiled outside of this court, wherever they wish that to be. Well, actually, no, we're just going to kick them out the doors. They will not be allowed in the castle, in the grounds, in the game, anywhere else in the Feywild. We don't care. That cannot be undone without a majority vote from this council.
Well, I guess I have my work cut out.
You definitely do. Good luck, Eritrea. It kind of spits out your name as it says it. Now, I must attend to a good mother who is shaken from the events of today. Everyone rises, and they go to step out. Cesaro doesn't even pay you any attention right now. He just leaves. Outstanding outside the doors is Asbella, who is standing outside, kind of waiting and looking round. Steps back as the thorns rush by. You feel, Eritrea, a light pat on your shoulder as the peach or champagne rose pats you on the shoulder without looking at you as they sweep out as well. Asbella waits for them to leave and hurries in to say, I waited outside, but I was not privy to what happened. You look a little shaken, but you are alive. That is good.
My friends are to be exiled, and I'm in servitude until I can prove their case. It's not ideal, but I'm gonna do it, and I guess my question is, am I still able to train with you during this time?
Her eyes are wide and quite open and with deep worry, but she says, Eritrea, you are still my sponsee, and so still my responsibility, but who are you in service to? They cannot be to the whole council. This is between individuals.
And I believe just the Lord.
Which lord? 6 of them
What is
just
his
left.
name?
Cesare.
Cesare.
Oh, could be better, could be worse. I think training with me would actually put you in good stead, although you are going to be worked hard, I feel. He is a little scatterbrained, not skilled in the... She looks around, just leans down to the thinking department. Which could be good for you, or could be very bad. You are smart, clearly. And the stupid, not that I ever said that, but the stupid have unstable reactions to intelligence, and Cesaro is unstable in many ways.
I have a favor to ask of you. I know I have no right to ask.
I think you deserve something good today.
I need you to give something to Leah from me before they're exiled.
I could do one better. I may have overheard from some guards where they are holding your friends. We could go and I could let you into the place where they are holding your friend Leah.
You would
Briefly,
do that for me?
don't take too long, but yes.
Okay, yes.
It will be a shame to get your lovely dress a bit muddy, but it'll be okay. Come. And she leads you on quite the walk down through the castle. Again, you were quite high up in the spire to reach the council room. Out to the grounds, around a way that you hadn't been before, and you find this very large, circular, frosted glass arboreum, you feel. There's some guards by the front door. But she walks around the back. Says, I may or may not know where the occasional service entrance is. She takes out her whip that you didn't even know that she even had on her, but it was in one of her many folds in her clothes, and it leaps down and just by itself pushes up like a little bit of a sliding door, like you might have on like a chicken coop, basically, but quite a big one. Some stuff goes through here, and some servants do too, so you will have to crawl and be a bit muddy, but be quick and be quiet.
Okay. I'm going.
Good luck. I knock when you want to come out.
Thank you.
And she closes it behind you. So you are now inside this, and you are... it's quite large, but you can see Leah tied to a chair in the middle of an opening, and you are behind them. So, Leah, what position... It's been half an hour since Obsidian left.
Yeah, but all of that lasted a long time and they're still tied up, like probably in their back. So it's really hurting their back. So they're probably just lying, looking at the ceiling, but their eye closed, like not taking a nap, but just trying to relax somehow.
I think Ariel kind of stand there for a second, so like taking it in, and then would kind of be just like say Leah's name. I think their voice would crack a little bit.
I think because all the things that happened, I'm not sure how much time passed. So I will answer in my head thinking that there's still the connection, like for a second. So you don't get an answer, just a little shift from me.
Eritrea would walk forward and just kind of hug them from behind.
They're going to jump even though they're sitting. They have the scare of their life, but probably recognize your smile, your touch, maybe your red hair. What are you doing here? Am I dreaming because of all the torture and everything?
No, I'm here. I snuck in. I have some news.
Well, let me see you first.
Sure.
Are you
I'll
okay?
walk around to the front. Yes, yeah, I'm fine. Are you okay? You don't seem to be hurt.
No, yeah, I'm okay. I was exaggerating with. I'm not going to finish the sentence because I cannot lie.
Well, you are going to be exiled, but you are going to be okay. You and Ren both. So I had to see you before you left. I don't have long, but Just know that I'm working here to free both of your names, and that it's gonna be okay. And you guys are you're gonna come back and finish what we started.
But what do you mean working?
I may have made a deal with a certain lord, and I am earning the right back for us to be here. I'm gonna prove that it wasn't us. I'm gonna find who it is.
So many questions.
Yeah, same,
What
honestly.
what kind of deal, Eritrea? Does that involve a
It-
contract with the Fae?
yes. It'll be okay though.
What did you do?
It'll be fine. It will. But
With who? With who?
look, it doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It doesn't.
I would like to
It
know
doesn't.
who I should talk to for this
No,
to
you can't.
stop right now.
You can't talk to anybody. This is happening.
I'm not talking, but maybe a little bit more.
No, nothing else. You need to leave with Run. You guys can look after each other. I'm gonna be fine here. I've still got my sponsor. They're
Nope.
still gonna train me.
No, I'm not leaving you with those creeps that
As a player, quickly, Greg, I still have those bracelets, the ones that you double tap from when we
Yes.
went.
Yes.
Yeah, can I give one to? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Cool. So basically, I'm just gonna be like, look, I still have these bracelets, Leah. Which means we can contact each other. Like, make sure we're okay. Just press it, and then we'll know that the other is okay.
just a little tapping on my wrist. Do you think that would be sufficient for me to be reassured and away
Yeah.
from this madness?
I know it's a lot, but this is the options that we have with
The
the things that we did, and yeah, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be
just
fine.
for the comic of the situation, they're extremely agitated, so probably are moving the chair, so you cannot really put it on their wrist because they just want to keep an eye on you. I don't have any choice, basically.
Eritrea will like put her hands on like Leah's like knees and just kind of look them in the face and just be like, just breathe. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna work through this. Like we've worked through everything else. It's gonna be fine. The most important thing is that we're all okay. This could be so much worse, and we're gonna figure it out. We always do.
Wait, actually, I thought about this conversation for like hours, and I wasn't supposed to tell you off. I was supposed to ask you for forgiveness. I'm so sorry. Can I see your neck? Are you really okay?
Fine. You don't need to ask me for forgiveness. Honestly, this is my fault.
Something weird really happened.
What
Like-
happened? What did happen?
It's hard to explain. He burned so much. He drained me from my vampiric energy, from my blood.
Wait, what burnt? My blood burnt.
Your blood tastes like fire, if that's possible. It was pure lava, pure holy water. Call it what you want, and I don't understand why.
Oh. I mean, I do eat a lot of garlic.
I mean, I hate garlic, but I don't think it was that.
Oh wait, that's a bit like a wives' tale, right? That's not real.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well, this is a lot to unpack. So my blood burnt up your blood and made you go into a frenzy.
Yeah, is it clashing with my being, with my curse? I don't know. But we know that your soul is really bright and my soul is inexistent / dark. So something's clashing here.
Interesting. That's a pretty bad time for us to find this out.
Yeah.
Of all the places we could have been.
Wait, do you think Ren is going to be mad? Like, I'm being sent to the outside with him. I'm more scared of him than the outside.
I wouldn't be scared of him. I don't think he would ever hurt you. But he is going to be mad and probably very disappointed. I need you to tell him for me, from me, that I'm sorting this out, that I will sort it out.
Should I mention the contract?
I mean, I am doing it to redeem his name, his... What's the word? Can't think of the word.
Reputation?
Reputation, yeah.
You're clever, Harry. Try to find a way out of this contract. Be more clever than them.
I will. Yeah, I will.
Oh my god. This goodbye, that's... This is really embarrassing. I'm still tied up to a chair.
Uh,
I'm going to say see you extremely soon.
yes. Yes, it's not goodbye. This is just... See you soon.
Are you going to leave now? I'm not good with people leaving today.
I do have to go soon. I'm not supposed to be here, and Asbella was very kind and helped me sneak in here. Hence the mud on my dress.
Is there anything we can do from the outside?
I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be a way we can contact each other. I don't know. But you guys need to focus on staying alive and staying safe, because you will be out in the thick of it, literally. I'm
I
more
know you're
worried about you guys than I am myself.
Don't. We'll be fine. It's the both of us. I know you're saving us right now, but we'll do our best to save you in exchange.
I think Ari would just hug Leah again. I know you can't hug me back, but this will do for
Still
now.
feel nice.
I have to go. I'm sorry.
I will hold you
I'll
back
put-
if I could.
I think before I go, I will put the bracelet on Leah's arm.
They
because
let you
obviously
do it
they
this
can't-
time.
They can't do it, so and then go and tap on the door.
It lifts, and you're able to fall back out. As Bella faced it, said, "Since the decision has been made, it will not be long now until your friends will be ejected. Do you want to be there, or would that not be good for you?"
No, I would like to be there.
Understandable. Well, let us go find somewhere near the entrance so we can wait for them. I fear we'll not have to wait long. She just hurries off, you in tow, to find somewhere to look over the exit to the Feywild and whatever lies beyond. I will probably say this is probably where we're going to end things. Because anything from Hayron, like obviously you're being ejected with Ren, so we need to have Ryan here at this point. If he doesn't, then I will find something else to go on. That's fine. For next week. But yeah, that is it.